Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Raiders Nation tonight, broadcasting live from the shadow of the Death Star itself, Allegiant Stadium in the heart of Las Vegas. I'm your host, Jax Ryder, and folks, if you thought the neon lights on the strip were bright, wait until you hear about the fireworks that went down in Denver. The Silver and Black came oh so close to stealing one from the division-leading Broncos, only to fall 27-24 in a heartbreaker that has Raider Nation buzzing louder than a slot machine jackpot. But the real story exploding across sports talk radio, X timelines, and barbershop debates? Head coach Pete Carroll's gut-wrenching decision to send an obviously hobbled Geno Smith back into the fray. Was it old-school toughness, or a gamble that cost Vegas a golden opportunity? Buckle up, because we're diving deep into every angle of this thriller. History, heartbreak, and what it all means for the Raiders' playoff pulse. Let's set the scene. Thursday night football under the Rocky Mountain lights, Mile High Stadium rocking with orange and blue. The Raiders, riding a wave of gritty wins and that never-say-die spirit inherited from the ghosts of Oakland, march into enemy territory looking to play spoiler. Denver's sitting pretty atop the AFC West, but Vegas? They smell blood. Early on, it's all Raiders. Max Crosby, the human wrecking ball out of Eastern Michigan, is living in Bo Nix's backpack. 2 sacks before halftime, forcing fumbles, drawing double teams like he's the main event at T-Mobile Arena. Davante Adams, vintage Tay, 8 grabs, 112 yards, and a toe-tapping touchdown that had Al Davis smiling down from the owner's box in the sky. Even rookie tight end Brock Bowers is out here snatching souls, hauling in a 38-yard bomb that flips the field. At one point, the Raiders lead 17-10, and you can almost hear the commitment to excellence echoing through the thin air. But here's where the plot thickens. Late third quarter, Geno Smith. Yes, the same Geno who resurrected his career in Seattle and now quarterbacks the Silver and Black, takes a vicious shot to the thigh. Quad bruise, they're calling it. He crumples. Trainers swarm. The broadcast cuts to commercial, and every Raiders fan from Henderson to Hanoi holds their breath. Enter Kenny Pickett, the former Pitt star and Steelers first-rounder, acquired in the offseason to be the insurance policy. Pickett jogs in, hands off twice, completes a safe swing pass. Nothing flashy, but the chains move. Crisis averted, right? Wrong. Next series, here comes Geno, limping like he just wrestled a bronco, the horse kind, and lost. You can see the pain etched on his face, every drop back a grimace, every scramble a hobble. Yet Pete Carroll, the 74-year-old sage who won a Super Bowl in Seattle with a Legion of Boom, sends him back out. Why? Because Geno begged for it. He wanted to go back in the worst way, Carroll told reporters post-game, voice steady but eyes telling a different story. He wanted to finish the game for his teammates. That's just him fighting. Now, let's break this down like we're in the film room at Raiders HQ in Henderson. First, the numbers. Geno pre-injury, 18 of 25, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. Post-injury, 3 of 7, 28 yards, and a back-breaking interception on a wobbly duck that Denver's defense snags like free buffets on the strip. The offense stalls. Field goals instead of touchdowns. Denver answers with a 75-yard touchdown drive of their own, capped by a Cortland Sutton grab that quiets the Raiders' sideline. Final score, 27-24 Broncos. 3 points. That's the margin between a statement road win and another, what if etched into the Raiders' 2025 ledger. Tactically, Pete's call is straight out of the John Madden playbook. Remember when Madden let an injured Kenny Stabler gut it out in the '76 AFC Championship? The snake threw for 286 and the win despite a cracked rib. Carroll's logic, veteran leadership, locker room buy-in, the intangibles you can't quantify on a stat sheet. Geno's the emotional engine. Pulling him risks deflating a team that's already battled through a coaching change, injuries, and the relocation hangover from Los Angeles to Vegas. But here's the flip side, and it's a big one. Modern NFL. Player safety is king. The league fines coaches for questionable returns. Fans on X are torching Carroll, memes of him as the Grim Reaper trending under #FreeGeno. Craig Carton on his morning show didn't mince words. Kenny Pickett was able to walk. Geno Smith couldn't walk. Ouch. Even neutral analysts like ESPN's Dan Orlovsky are asking, in a non-elimination game in November, do you really roll the dice on a quad bruise that could linger for weeks? Let's zoom out for historical context. Because this is the Raiders we're talking about, not some expansion outfit. The franchise built on rebellion, from Al Davis suing the NFL to keep his team in Oakland, to the pirate logo that screams defiance. 3 Super Bowl rings, 11, 15, 18, powered by legends who played hurt. Marcus Allen ran for 209 yards in Super Bowl 18 with a bad ankle. Charles Woodson intercepted passes with a broken leg in 2002. It's baked into the DNA. But times have changed. The 2020s NFL is about load management, MRIs, and next man up depth. Kenny Pickett isn't Tom Brady, but he's 26, mobile, and threw for 300 in a preseason game against the Rams. Could he have managed the clock, hit Adams on a slant and go, and stolen the W? We'll never know. What we do know, the loss drops Vegas to 5-5, 2 games back of Denver in the AFC West, and clinging to the 7th seed in the wild card race. One more injury to Geno, and suddenly Aiden O'Connell, remember him, is thrust into the spotlight again. Speaking of injuries, let's talk recovery timeline. The Raiders lucked out with the schedule gods. Thursday game means 10 full days before they host the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football. That's a mini-bye. Geno's quad bruise, essentially a deep tissue contusion, typically sidelines players 1 to 3 weeks, but adrenaline and ice baths work wonders. Team docs will monitor swelling, flexion tests, the works. If he's 80%, Pete rides with his starter. If not, Pickett gets the nod under the bright lights of Allegiant, where the pyrotechnics and 65,000 screaming fans in silver face paint create an atmosphere unlike any other. Imagine the scene, Raiderettes pumping up the crowd, the drumline thundering, and a national TV audience watching to see if the silver and black can rebound against America's team. Now, let's hear some voices from the locker room. I caught up with a few key figures post-game. First, Max Crosby, sweat still dripping, fire in his eyes. Geno's a warrior, man. Dude's been written off his whole career. Jets, Seahawks, now here, and he keeps getting up. Coach trusted him to lead us, and that's what leaders do. We win as a team, we lose as a team. Denver got us this time, but we'll see him again in Vegas. Davante Adams, ever the professional. I've played with Aaron Rodgers, seen guys gut it out. Geno gave us everything. Offense gotta execute better. Me included. Dropped 1 in the 4th that could have been 6. That's on us. And from the man himself, Geno, limping but defiant. I told coach, I'm good. Teammates count on me. Can't let a bruise take me out when we're driving. Hurts like heck, but I'd do it again. Fan reaction. Raider Nation is split but passionate, as always. Season ticket holder Maria Lopez from East LA, now a Vegas transplant, texted the show, Pete's old school, I love it. Reminds me of the 80s teams. But please Geno, heal up, we need you for the playoffs. On the other side, UNLV student and podcaster Trey Jackson, risk-reward doesn't add up. We're not the 77 team with Stabler slinging it hungover. Protect the QB, or we're drafting top 10 again. Both valid. That's the beauty of this fanbase. Fierce, knowledgeable, and never shy. Statistically, let's put this loss in perspective. The Raiders' offense ranks 18th in points per game, but 9th in yards per play when Geno's healthy. With him hobbled, they managed just 3.8 yards per snap in the 4th quarter, worse than the league's basement. Defensively, Crosby's 9.5 sacks lead the AFC, but the secondary allowed Nix, still a rookie, to go 24 of 30. Compare that to the 2023 Raiders under interim coach Antonio Pierce, 8-9 record, late surge, but never quite gelled. Carroll's brought structure. His cover 3 schemes have cut explosive plays against by 22%, but the offense remains a work in progress. Jacoby Myers is quietly having a Pro Bowl year as the WR2, and the run game with Zamir White and Alexander Mattison averages 4.4 yards per carry. If Geno's back at full strength, this team can hang with anyone. If not, the margins in the AFC are razor thin. Looking ahead, the Cowboys game is massive. Dallas limps in at 4-6, Dak Prescott nursing an oblique strain, and their defense gashed for 400 yards a game. Perfect bounce-back spot. Win, and the Raiders hit .500 heading into a softer December slate. Dolphins, Falcons, Jaguars. Lose, and suddenly the wild card is a dogfight with the Bengals, Colts, and Jets all lurking. Playoff odds per ESPN's FPI: 38% with a healthy Geno, 22% if Pickett starts 2 or more games. The math is brutal. Expert takes: I rang up former Raiders safety and Super Bowl XVIII champ Van McElroy. Yes, the same Van who picked off Joe Theismann in that blowout. His take: Pete's living the motto, just win, baby. But Al Davis also said surround your stars with protection. Geno's our star now. Wrap him in bubble wrap till Monday. Hall of Fame coach turned analyst John Gruden, Chucky himself, texted me, gutsy call. I did it with Rich Gannon in '02. Worked then, might bite you now. That's football. Even pop culture's weighing in. Raiders superfan Ice Cube tweeted a clip of Friday with the caption, Geno out here like Craig after the drive-by, still trying to fight. Classic. Trivia time to lighten the mood. Did you know Allegiant Stadium's black-tinted windows are designed to look like a starfield at night, earning the Death Star nickname from Star Wars creator George Lucas himself during a tour? Or that the Raiders' 63-21 Super Bowl XV win over Philly remains the most lopsided NFC-AFC title game ever? Moments like these fuel the legacy Pete Carroll's now part of. Predictions: I'm calling it. Geno practices limited Wednesday, full by Friday, and carves up Dallas for 300 yards and 3 scores. Max gets to a hobbled Dak early, forcing turnovers. Final: Raiders 34, Cowboys 20. Book it. But if the quad flares up, Pickett manages, Bowers breaks out for 100+, and it's a nail-biter, 27-24 silver and black. Either way, the AFC West race stays red-hot, and the Chiefs, watching from afar, start sweating. Raider Nation, this is your team, forged in Oakland fire, tempered in LA glamour, thriving under Vegas lights. One loss doesn't define a season. It's how you respond. Get those jerseys ready, pack the Death Star, and let's make Monday Night Football unforgettable. Follow us on YouTube, X, and the Raiders app for post-game reaction, injury updates, and exclusive sit-downs with Crosby and Adams. Until next time, just win, baby. I'm Jax Ryder. See you at kickoff.